All right, y'all. In this video, I'm going to talk about how we got Miss Sandra $60,000 for a home that she inherited from her father, how they had to go through a bunch of hurdles just to transfer the title to their name, and they thought they did it right until we got an attorney and the title company involved. I'm also going to answer the top 5 questions people who inherited a home have, such as, do I have to go through probate to claim the house? What if there are multiple heirs? Who owns the home? Are there outstanding debts or liens on the property? How do I transfer the title to my name? And how do I legally sell the home right away? So let's get started, y'all. All right, y'all, if you just inherited a home, if you have a fixer-upper, if you have a house you don't know what to do with, send it our way. We would love to give you a cash offer. All right, let's get into the story of Sarah. I'm going to read the review for you. Well, I don't know where to start with this, but this was my first experience with selling a house or even know where to start. But the team at OT Investment made the process go well, especially Vince, laugh out loud, that's me. He was very persistent in buying and very thoughtful, too, with special dinners and gifts. But they were quickly responsive to all my questions and concerns even after closing. If I or anyone ever needs to sell or buy a home in the future, I will definitely be using OT Team all the way. Thank you again, OT Team and family. P.S. the dog too. Sorry, I forgot your name. So, we reached out to Sandra through texting. She reached out to us and told us she was wanting to sell, but she wanted to meet us in person, right? Very shrewd lady. She was actually a grandma. Most of our deals, we do everything over the phone, but hey, she wanted to meet. So we drove down there, and I didn't follow my rules. So my rules is I never leave without an agreement. Before I go out to a property, I'll tell the seller, say, hey, look, I'm coming out there to do a deal. Okay, if we agree on this and I check out, you like what you see, you like, I passed the vibe check, are you ready to sign? She said, yeah, I'm ready to sign. So we go out there and she was ready to sign, but you know what? She wanted to talk to her husband. Okay, so I didn't follow my rules. What I should have done is got her husband on the phone, or I should have had her husband there at the property. She wanted to talk to her husband, so I said, you know what? Go ahead and talk to your husband. And I never heard from her again. Okay, I kept calling her, texting her. I drove to her house. I pulled up on her. She wasn't there. She was at her other house babysitting her grandkids, and she was just dodging my calls. Now, I don't think she was purposely dodging. She just had a lot going on. She was a grandma, like I said. She was taking care of the kids. So that took at least 30 days. 30 days of me consistently following up. Now, what I do is I try to provide as much value as possible. So I sent them, I knew she was a grandma. I sent them pizza for the kids. They really enjoyed that, and cinnamon sticks. I sent them to her house just to keep our company in front of them and to show value. Sending personal letters. That's what we do to stand out from the competition. Because, okay, well, everybody wants your house, right? But why are they going to sell it to us? Because we actually genuinely care, and we deeply get to know our sellers. By the time we're done, we're almost friends. So we finally got the property under contract, and this is where it gets tricky, right? They inherited the property. She thought she had a will, and it should have transferred correctly. It should have transferred easily, and the title should have been in her name, and we could have just easily transferred it to our company name. But that was not the case. The attorney that did the will, he didn't record it correctly, and we had to redo everything, and we had to do an affidavit of heirship. So an affidavit of heirship is where we have to get every single person that has rights to that property. We need to figure out the chain of title, and then we have to find 2 witnesses that can corroborate the story and say they knew the deceased person. Okay, that was not an easy task. Luckily, this family got along, so we're able to do it. Another issue we had, and this is something you guys need to pay attention, is if somebody dies and they're older than 65, you have to verify with the government that they don't owe any Medicaid. Okay, it's called a MERP. Obviously, Medicaid is a government assistance program, and the government is basically helping pay for medical expenses. So we did a MERP. We filled out a form. It can take up to 90 days. We got it done in 5 to 7 days, and it came back that indeed they owed money to the government, and they owed more than the property was worth. So we were getting the property for $60,000, and I believe they owed like $100,000 on Medicaid, on MERP. Okay, so I was like, okay, what can we do? So I started studying Medicaid, I started studying MERP, and I found out that if you can prove that you didn't have income, then the government can wipe away that debt. Or if you can prove that the property is worth less than what you owe the government, then they'll also waive the fee or lower the fee. So I was able to prove both. The government was able to wipe out that fee, and we're able to close on that property. So let's go over the top 5 questions. So the first question, do I have to go through probate to claim the house? Easy answer is no. You do not have to go through probate. You can do what's called an affidavit of heirship, like I mentioned before. And basically the title company or an attorney is going to list all the heirs in the property. They're going to create a chain of title. You're going to have 2 witnesses that are going to verify this story is true. And the inherited people are going to transfer the property to their name. The benefit of a will is if the deceased person says, hey, I want this property to go to my oldest daughter, the oldest daughter gets it. But if there's no will and you have to do an affidavit of heirship, that means everybody that's entitled to that property is going to get a share. So for example, let's say there was 3 kids and maybe there was a stepkid, right? These people are all entitled to the property even if you don't get along with them. So what if there are multiple heirs on the property? Who owns the property? So everybody that is an heir is entitled to that property. It doesn't matter if it's a long lost sister's ex-husband that passed away that you never spoke to, and now the ex-husband died and they had kids. Those people might be entitled to the property. So the first lesson is, if you know you stand to get an inheritance, make sure your grandfather, your father, whoever's giving you the property, make sure there's a will, right? If your parents are getting older, or if you own property in general, make sure you have a will, because, God forbid, knock on wood, what if you die suddenly? Now you're left with a mess. Next question. Are there outstanding debts or liens on the property? So the purpose of probate, the purpose of an affidavit of heirship, the purpose of a title search is they're going to go through and figure out what the deceased person owes. So before you get your inheritance, all the debts, all the liens have to be paid off. They have to be paid off. Once those are paid off, you get the remainder. So let's say, for example, the house is worth $150,000. That's what you're going to sell it for. But the person has a mortgage. Maybe they owe Medicaid some money. Maybe they had credit card debt. So it all comes up to, they had a lien from the business. It all comes up to $55,000. So you're going to get $150,000 minus the $55,000. And if there's multiple heirs, that's going to be split in 8. For example, if there's 8 heirs. How do I transfer the title to my name? The best way to transfer the title to your name is to hire a title company or an attorney, a real estate attorney, that's going to make sure you're the rightful owner and transfer the title to your name. Can I legally sell the home right away? Yes. You can sell the home right away, but you're still going to have to go through probate, which is going to take up to 6 months. Or if you have a will, that's going to help. or doing an affidavit of heirship. That's how you sell the property right away. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. See you guys next time. Please share this information if you know somebody who just inherited a property. If you know somebody that just inherited a property and they want to sell, refer them over to us and we will pay you up to $3,000. Until next time.